Ad Council.
Oh!
You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage. It's a good thing you got me as your wingman.
Right. You mean when you threw that flash grenade at me?
Whatever, man. Huge round. Seriously, great stuff.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes.
All right, class. I'm going to pass back your tests. And the high score goes to Brian.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you have the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Aaron Rodgers is unemployed. If you're unemployed, you report to no one. This is on them. I love the Steelers as an organization. I've gotten to know the Rooney family over the years. You can't find better people than the Rooney family. But it's on them. You're allowing him for the second straight year to hold your franchise hostage.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
Start your morning right with Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company, the official coffee of Fitz the Bill and ESPN Richmond. They have fresh artisan pastries made from scratch daily in their own in-house bakeries to go along with some of the best coffee in RVA. 3 locations, one in Shockoe Bottom, one in the West End, and one in Lynchburg. Check them out too online at ironcladcoffee.com. Fitz the Bill is powered by Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company each and every morning.
Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Slice them up.
We are going to wreak havoc.
The only thing I am thinking about is the game.
Holy catfish! Touchdown, Seahawks!
Rashid Shaheed.
Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans.
This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth,
where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first.
If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Wednesday morning. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill on the ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up. You can watch, like, comment, subscribe, be part of the show over there. You can be part of the show over here by calling or texting into the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. On this Wednesday morning, we've got Chris Persianen. He'll be joining us at 9:30, hour number 2, to talk a little NBA Finals as the New York Knicks get set to take on the San Antonio Spurs in a 1999 NBA Finals rematch. Chris covers the Knicks for Clutch Points. He also hosts the Locked On Knicks podcast. Excited to chop it up with Chris at 9:30 in hour number 2. Between now and then, the phone lines are absolutely wide open for you on the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. And where I want to start on this Wednesday morning, this midweek edition, is the fact that, A.J. Brown Allen, he really likes Foxborough. He pulled the whole Field of Dreams quote, right? Is this heaven? No. It's Foxborough. I never thought I'd hear Foxborough being compared to heaven, but hey, A.J. Brown,
right?
I thought that was absolutely insane, but A.J. Brown, he apparently grew up as a New England Patriots fan.
Yeah.
I've got a bone to pick about that. He's about my age, right?
Yes.
So he grew up with the Patriots dynasty number 2.
That's not his fault.
He's a Starkville, Mississippi kid.
So my son is a Richmond, Virginia kid, and he's got 2 Super Bowls as an Eagles fan.
Hey, yeah, but you lost a bet for that one.
Yeah, I know, but still, maybe he lost a bet.
No, A.J. Brown's a front runner. Unfortunately for A.J. Brown, he's a front runner.
What's his options in Mississippi?
Exactly.
So you get the pick.
No, you got the Texases right there.
Nah,
the
Texases ain't been good in his lifetime, and neither have the Floridas.
And that's valid, but man, Starkville, Mississippi kid, he's
and he
New
played
England.
for Tennessee, so at least he stayed close to home originally. Just saying.
I thought that was so fun. When I heard it was his childhood team, I was like,
Matt mentioned that yesterday on the Mid-Major Matt show, and I had to do some research on it because I was thinking to myself, if I was a professional athlete, I don't think I would stop being a Niners fan. But in the case of Tom Brady, I feel like it was valid. Like he was a lifelong Niners fan. Then he got passed on 6 times, although I don't fault him for it. They passed on him and he took it personally and he hated him after that.
Yeah, so it makes sense. But I did want to throw that out there as a question here on this Wednesday morning. Thoughts on a current player having a favorite team? Because I think if I was a fan, if I was a NFL caliber
I can't imagine
player,
you not being a Seahawks fan.
I would be a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of it where like you grew up being a fan of that team. And like, yeah, because right, like I'm a JMU alum, I'm a JMU fan, but like I've now worked with ODU at times. I've worked with Mary Washington, Virginia, all of the schools that I've been able to work with. I like them just as much as it's not like all of a sudden my JMU fandom goes away. I'm still a JMU fan, but I also have a newfound respect for all of these other schools. And that's on a much lesser level than what A.J. Brown goes through. Like, makes sense that he's still a Patriots fan, that like at his core, at the bottom of his heart, he's still got a little love for him because, you know, he grew up rooting for him.
Yeah.
He has all of these memories. And then to add on to it, it probably gives him an extra piece of fuel when he plays the Patriots because there's also kind of a, you know, screw you. You passed on me. I was your favorite. I wanted to be part of you guys, and you didn't think I was good enough. You thought N'Keal Harry was better than me? I'm sorry. Where's N'Keal Harry playing? The CFL? The UFL? A.J. Brown's what? Top 5 wide receiver in the NFL? So I get it. I understand where A.J. Brown's coming from.
As long as he's not walking around with Patriots gear on,
and now he can. Yeah, exactly.
like when he was with the Eagles or Titans, he wasn't showing up with the Patriots decal on his car. I think you're allowed to be normal outside of the scope of your profession. So you're allowed to be a fan. I would allow it.
But now it makes a lot more sense that his license plate was PTSFN. You know, Pat's fan. Makes a lot more sense.
That was his license plate? I was about to be like, yo. All right, I take it back.
Could you imagine
that's too much.
If he's like rolling in, the media's like, hey, AJ Brown, what does your license plate mean? He's like, nothing.
Part-time fan. There you go.
Exactly. Part-time fan. What's the S? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But he now joins New England, and he participated in OTAs yesterday. He's away from Philadelphia, which seems like it may have been a toxic situation a little bit.
Philly.
All of these stories that are coming out, man. Whoo, Nelly. Oh, man, that locker room must have been a fun time when him, Hassan Reddick, Jalen Hurts all got together in 2023, 2024. Man, oh, man. If you haven't seen some of the rumors circulating, I think we had G call in yesterday and was talking about the Tinderisms.
Yeah, he'll be fine in New England. That seems to be the go-to up there.
Hey, yeah, I got a lot of things to say, but I'll keep it in my back pocket on those. But he joins there. If things can stay on the up and up in that locker room, New England did get a lot better. Like New England got a whole lot better, and they've been a team I've identified, and a lot of people have identified as a real regression candidate because, I mean, they overperformed expectations last year. They beat up on a bad schedule. It has all been hashed out. They with a wide receiver core prior to the A.J. Brown acquisition was Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, Pop Douglas, and Mac Hollins. doesn't really inspire you all that much when Romeo Doubs is your number one. Now you put A.J. Brown in that wide receiver 1 spot, pushes everyone down a role. Everyone seems to fit in this newfound role a little bit better, and his style of play aligns pretty darn well with Drake May, because A.J. Brown, he was a really, really good play action digs and crosser receiver back in his Tennessee days. And that's where May is at his best. May posted the best QBR in the NFL on play action from under center last year, 10.5 yards per attempt, likes to push it downfield. It gives A.J. Brown an opportunity to do what he does best. And you know Josh McDaniels is going to spam the A.J. Brown button next year, and it's going to unlock this offense. Maybe it give Travion Henderson, the Hopewell product, a couple more running lanes to get going.
Get Travion on the field and give him the ball. Bunch of goofs.
Yeah.
Hey, why'd you bring that up? I wasn't even thinking about that.
Hey, cut Ramondre, give it all to Travion.
Man, nah, give Travion to somebody that'll utilize him then if they don't want to use him. But anyway, I think, it's definitely an improvement if you look at what they had last year. Essentially, he's replacing Diggs. That's a super upgrade at this point based on Diggs' injury history and production after that. They need a left tackle or some tackle.
Hey,
Will Campbell was so bad. I'm ready to move off of him right now.
Will Campbell was not. Will Campbell prior to the injury,
but
was good.
All I got is post-injury Will, and we're still in post-injury Will.
He was still playing with the injury. I'm going to give him the first couple of weeks before I
Brother,
completely come out.
You got a series. I'm telling. Will Campbell was so bad.
Will Campbell last year, he was one of the best rookie linemen in the NFL prior to his injury. He got it was an MCL sprain. He missed a game or two.
Yeah.
Came back, played on an MCL sprain. Look, Will Campbell, we all know he's got short arms. He is the poster child for a left tackle with short arms. I think he actually has the shortest arms of any left tackle in the NFL.
A little soft.
So what does he need? He needs a strong base. He needs a good anchor. And when his MCL was hurt, he lost that. So then he became just a revolving door of pain for Drake May. And it crumbled their offense in the postseason. So
he was awful.
I get your hate for him.
I don't hate him. I'm concerned.
I think you got who they drafted a lineman, right?
Yeah, they got a lineman. I'm going to go back and look, but they got another tackle. But you still got to put Will Campbell on the field.
Yeah, you got maybe on the right tackle side though. Maybe you flip him around and put him in the spot.
Yeah, they got the other tackle Lomu from Utah.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's basically Will Campbell.
Yeah,
he really is. You look at his.
He's a short arm guy that.
Yeah, he's basically Will Campbell. So now we got two Will Campbell.
Highly experienced. They've got a type. They've got a type, right? They like what they like, and they're gonna do it.
That would be my only concern going into Patriots OTAs and training camp and all that is the tackles have to play better no matter who they get at receiver. But AJ Brown's a big target too.
Especially because AJ Brown is a type of target that wins downfield. He's a great intermediate and deep receiver. So what do you need for that? You need time. What do you need to get time? You need good left tackles and right tackles.
You need some blocking.
And
ain't that right, Joe Burrow?
Ain't that right, Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow must be jumping for joy after the Myles Garrett news, though.
He's not. 8% difference between him and Verse. It ain't getting so much better.
Hey, but you look across the line, it's not Myles Garrett staring at you, getting ready.
I would
pointing
rather,
at you, going, "I'm coming for you."
Yeah.
Now it's Jared Verse.
If I gotta get through somebody, I would pick Verse.
Yeah,
Myles Garrett right now.
Who would you rather? I'd rather have Jared Verse.
Not a winning situation, but it won't kill you, I don't think.
And going back to the Patriots though, with it, because I love it when teams do this type of team building when they know they've got a cheap quarterback because he's still on his rookie deal. And they're like, you know what? We're going to go all in on this guy. We are going to give him every single option. And if you're lucky enough to have a quarterback on their rookie deal, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels right now, Drake May, there's no reason why you should not just go out there and go on an absolute spending spree to put as much talent as you can around him. Like the fact that the Patriots are willing to do this, the second you draft an all-pro caliber quarterback in the first round, like Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, you know you've got a 5-year window with them. You've got 4 years on the contract. You got the team option for the 5th. And let's face it, you've also got a 6th and even 7th year of team control. Now, the 6th and 7th year are going to be a little bit more expensive because if you franchise tag them, it's the average value of, I think, the top 5 contracts at the position. If you franchise tag him the second time, it's the average value of the top 3 contracts. So pretty hefty jump going from year 5 to 6 and 7. But for all intents and purposes, you've got your quarterback under team control for the next 7 years. You have a rough idea of what he's going to cost for the next 7 years in theory. Go out there and put talent around him. Shout out to the front office of the Patriots for doing that and not resting on their laurels and being like, well, we got Drake May. He can make this Romeo Doubs, Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte trio work. No, go out there and improve. I think it's something the Bears haven't done well enough, and I don't think it's something that the Commanders have done well enough. It's something the Commanders tried to do, right, with the Marshawn Lattimore trade and trading for Deebo Samuel. It's something they've tried to do, but them kind of, maybe this is an aggressive way of putting it, but taking their time on the Terry McLaurin deal, I thought that was kind of a mistake. He got back late. You could argue that was a cause for some of his injuries. I think the Commanders haven't done and haven't been as aggressive as I would like them have to been around Jaden Daniels in these first couple of years of his career.
Well, I think that the Commanders, in their mind, were aggressive. Like they went out and got better blocking for him and things like that. I think where they failed was that they were not honest about their weapons, basically.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Like the Patriots looked at this team and said, we just can't go into this season without a wide receiver 1. Like we need a wide receiver 1. Diggs was cool. It was great.
It worked for the 1 year.
But it wasn't good enough.
And
how do we upgrade?
Talking about a locker room cancer, everything that was going on with him and Cardi B. They're broken up now, I think.
Yeah, you're going to another alleged cancer as well. So maybe they've got a type, like you said.
Although Stephon Diggs, he doesn't get enough credit for being the ultimate QB builder.
No, he doesn't, because he definitely is a good target to have, and his catch radius, even with him having coming off the ACL injury or something like that, like he was limited in his range, but again, his hands are very consistent, and if you throw the ball, he's typically winning those 50-50s.
He's catching everything, but he unlocked Josh Allen up in Buffalo.
He absolutely did.
Goes down to Houston. CJ Stroud had a really solid start to the 2024 year before Stephon goes down with the ACL injury. Stephon Diggs was actually one of the highest graded receivers in the NFL at the time of his injury, then goes over to New England, kind of helps unlock the deep ball with Drake May as well, and helps that offense take a step forward, get to the Super Bowl. He faded down the stretch, which is why I think they ended up moving off of him, because he is pretty old now, 31 or 32.
It's the injury too, man. If you're 31, 32 with that injury, you're basically like 36 or 37. Like once you lose your ability to be at least remotely twitchy on your routes, it's going to be a struggle in today's game. You could probably get away with that back in the day a little because of the route combinations and stuff, but today's game requires a certain skill set, and you got to be able to go left and right.
Yeah,
he just can't do it like that anymore. But I've always liked Kayshon Boutte. I hope that he lives up to his expectations coming out of LSU.
He'll still be that deep ball guy.
I think he'll be complimentary to and Dobbs too. They'll be complimentary to AJ Brown. And again, it's not a trade that I'm looking at and I'm shunning. I think it was great for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, especially for the Eagles, you got to get that out.
Eagles, I have more concerns on their end.
I've laid out my concerns because AJ Brown fit exactly how Jalen Hurts likes to play. Deep balls outside the numbers, and AJ Brown was able to kind of become that. Although in his Tennessee days, he did a lot of work over the middle of the field. Wasn't asked to do that in Philly, and now Philly is going, it seems to be all in. Mekhi Lemon also was hurt yesterday, did not participate in OTAs.
That is unfortunate.
Which he's also expected to miss minicamp hamstring injury, which is kind of the issue those who is dealing with at USC a bit.
Yeah, soft tissue.
So soft tissue, little worrisome, but
yeah, I mean, you don't want to start like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially when, never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke about the locker room, but I'll keep it in. I'll keep it in my back pocket. But so we heard from AJ Brown yesterday, calling Foxborough heaven. Shocking. All right, that's one way to describe Foxborough. I wouldn't describe it as that.
Maybe it is heaven since he's from Mississippi.
Maybe that's a nice way of framing that one. So we got everything happening with AJ Brown on the East Coast. Out on the West Coast, Myles Garrett, he was officially introduced in front of the Rams media. And look, now there's questions about Aaron Donald coming back.
No.
Aaron Donald might be coming back.
No.
Myles Garrett.
For the safety of Brock Purdy and every quarterback on their schedule. No, man.
So before we get to Aaron Donald, Sean McVay yesterday called this acquisition similar to that of what they did with Matthew Stafford, a rare franchise-altering move you just cannot pass on. And they were okay with giving up the future in Jared Verse to go out and get Myles Garrett because it goes all in for a Super Bowl. And Sean McVay and Les Snead, I don't think they have a vision past the next 3 years. And that's how they're moving.
You know, McVay's been talking about retiring since he actually won the Super Bowl.
I saw a story on that where he was thinking about that, and then his wife essentially called him a loser, and now he's stopped thinking about retirement.
Yeah.
Because he got married around that time.
Yeah.
And he was like, maybe I want to start a family. I
Got
want to
married,
retire.
had a kid.
Super Bowl wasn't everything it lived up to be. And essentially the wife was like, all right, you had one bad season and now you're talking like this, you loser.
Well, to be fair, him and Aaron Donald both had contemplated retiring after the Super Bowl anyway, which was wild because McVay was only in year 6 or something.
And he was also still below the age of 40.
Yeah, he was like a baby. Aaron Donald, I understood, but I didn't understand McVay. But also McVay in his mind was like, I'm attached to Aaron Donald and this particular team. If he's done, I'm done, right?
Well, also, I don't think he expected Stafford to go on for another 3-4 years.
But yeah, basically, as the story goes by him, his wife basically told him he was a loser.
And he was like,
well, I'll go back to coaching.
And so now he's doubling down and going out and getting Myles Garrett.
Shout out Miss McVay. She must be watching those play calls.
And now Aaron Donald, he may be coming back. Pat McAfee texted him yesterday.
No, leave him alone.
Said, hey, man, you feel about coming back? And Aaron Donald replied, for sure got me thinking.
No, where's Miss Aaron Donald? Stop him.
Essentially, Aaron Donald said, if I can light my fire back up, I'll be out there.
Bro, have you seen Aaron Donald's workout videos and stuff? Like what he did with Jared Verse and everything?
I know.
The fire is not gone.
I know. I think we're going to see Aaron Donald.
Ban him from the facility.
Someone tweeted a media member. I forget exactly who it was. Apologies for that. But they were like, it's a more of a matter of if, not when.
No.
Aaron Donald comes back.
We need rules.
Man, he's coming back.
No. I'm serious, man.
Sounded like a real San Francisco 49er fan over there.
Aaron Donald scares me, and I'm not on the field.
Can't win a Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter. And to be completely fair, record-wise, I think we had a good record against Aaron Donald, but now you're adding in Myles Garrett. Yeah, no.
And Byron Young and Kobe Turner.
Yes,
and
they're
Braden
all
Fitz.
developed now. No.
Like, there's a real shot that if you bring Aaron Donald back in, I'm also assuming
I can't believe you're talking about this as a Seahawks fan. You need to be joining me in this course of no.
Look, it'd be pretty fun to watch. As a fan of football, if you gave me a defensive line with Myles Garrett, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and Aaron Donald, and then Braden Fisk running there to be a backup, whoo, Nelly. I mean, that is going to be a fun team. They would have four, if Aaron Donald returned and he's still like his all-pro level, which is probably not going to happen. He likely would come back and probably would be, a rotational type of guy who could give you like 4 good snaps a game. But they would have potentially the 4 best defensive linemen in the NFL on the field at one time.
If you're a Giants fan, a Broncos fan,
are you looking at their
an Eagles
schedule right
fan,
now?
yes. If you are a Commanders fan, a Chiefs fan, a Cowboys fan, a Buccaneers fan, anybody, even the Packers, like if you care about your quarterback, join me and say no means no.
Stand up to the tyranny of the Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald ticket.
Dude, look, their schedule. They play Josh Allen. They play Jalen Hurts. They play Jaden Daniels. They play
if it's before week 6,
Jordan
you're
Love,
fine.
Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield.
If you can squeeze in before week 6, this is hey, watch it on Justin Herbert.
They're playing Bo Nix and Jackson Dart. They're playing every good quarterback in the league except for Burrow, basically, and Lamar.
I would expect, I'm calling my shot now. What? It is June 3rd, 8:22 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm calling my shot now. Aaron Donald will return in week 14 and then be with them for a playoff run.
Why? No.
I think that's what's going to happen.
No.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Midlow Dan on line 1. Good morning, Midlow Dan. How we doing?
I'm doing fine, gentlemen. How you all doing?
Fantastic.
Listen, okay, so Myles Garrett leaves Cleveland. Look, I still got 2 bags over my head from the NBA Conference Finals series. So, why not one more thing happen in Cleveland?
Oh man, I'm sorry you're a Cleveland fan. That it's been a rough 2 weeks for you.
Well, that's why I wear 2 bags in case the first one breaks, the second one's still there. Nobody will know who I am, so it's probably safer that way.
Oh.
So I kind of like it. But I'm curious about something. I wanted to throw this up at you guys since you mentioned about the Eagles and with the trade with the Patriots. And this is a what if. So I'm throwing it out and letting you guys comment. What if Jalen Hurts just had 1, maybe 2 offensive coordinators instead of all the ones that he's had? Do you think that would have affected how much it would have affected his play? I mean, he's a Super Bowl winner. He is a winner. He's a leader. But what do you think might have been had he just had, say, 1 offensive coordinator and been consistent with that in his career?
That's a great question. Appreciate you calling in and load down on this Wednesday. I might have to buy you a 3rd, 4th, and 5th paper bag with how things are going in Cleveland. But, I mean, that's a great question because Jalen Hurts has had a different offensive coordinator, I believe, every year for the past 10 years, dating back to his Alabama days. I think his last 2 years at Alabama were 2 different OCs, into Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, into the NFL. It's been a revolving door. I mean, if you could have that continuity, I think that goes a huge way. Unfortunately for Jalen Hurts, he has been dealt a tough hand. I think that would go to help him in a big way, right? Like Shane Steichen, he got to the Super Bowl with Shane Steichen, and he showed that he has a ton of upside. He did the same with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore arguably unlocked more. Apologies for the pun. I did not even walked right into that one. Boing. Kellen Moore, you could argue, unlocked him in a way that Shane Steichen couldn't even. So if he had Kellen Moore for 5 years, I mean, Jalen Hurts could be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, but he just hasn't been able to roll with the punches. And is that his fault? No, not entirely, but it is just part of the game. And he has shown that he is not coordinator agnostic. He needs to have a coordinator that knows how to call an offense that caters to him. And I think that's a black mark against him. But if he did have the same OC for 5 years, and maybe he's only had 2 or 3 OCs over the last 10 years rather than 10, I think Jalen Hurts would be in a much different spot right now.
Yeah. So the reality of that is that, nobody gets that kind of continuity unless you're Tom Brady. I think he had McDaniels for a long time.
And defensively, you can get that if you luck into a Steve Spagnuolo or something.
But the reality also is that if you are a capable NFL quarterback, once you're off your rookie contract, you should be able to work with anybody, and anybody should be able to work with you. We shouldn't be having conversations about the offensive coordinator ruining you when you're past your essentially developmental stage in the league.
And we shouldn't be having these really well-sourced articles come out from ESPN writers saying that he actively disagreed with Kevin Petula this last year and would just disagree with the play calls and just blame
him for that.
I mean,
but Petula, I would say was bad, but like, think about what you get when you're in your 5th or 6th year as a quarterback. Typically, people are deferring to you. Like, they give you the playbook. What plays do you like?
Yeah.
X out what you don't like. Let's call this. Let's call that. It's more of a collaborative thing. Like McDaniels, Byron Leftwich, I'll use him as an example. He wasn't telling Tom Brady what to do. They were working. They were working together.
Yeah.
The same with Baker Mayfield when he had Liam Cohen and Canales. They were working with Baker Mayfield. Again, not the same caliber as a Tom Brady, but he's got the experience at that point. They're working together. I bet you Blau and Jaden Daniels are probably going to be more collaborative too. So it's the question really what we should be asking is why doesn't Jalen Hurts get that kind of respect given his tenure in the league, that it's not a collaborative relationship with somebody like Petula?
Yeah. It's fascinating. That's a great question. Appreciate you calling in and low down. That is a great question.
Stop with the Aaron Donald comeback stuff. He's not coming back.
All right, let's get a quick break in here. We're running a little long on this opening segment. We'll be back with more Fitz, a little Stanley Cup talk here on the other side.
Spring has arrived in RVA, and it's a perfect time to head over to Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite golf course.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Do you love football and want to be part of the game and give back to your community? Become an official in Central Virginia. We have a nationwide shortage of officials, causing some games not able to be played on Friday nights. You'll work and train with veteran officials, get great exercise on the field, and you'll earn extra income working the game you love. Active duty military and veterans could receive free uniforms and gear. Training classes start June 22nd. To register, visit cvfoa.org and click register to become an official. That's Central Virginia Football Officials Association, cvfoa.org.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069.
1061 ESPN Traffic.
There's some delays heading north on 95 between 64 and Hermitage Road, as well as heading southbound between Kingston Indian Boulevard and Ashland, Hanover. And just be aware that an accident has the left and center lanes blocked off heading east on 64 between Bottoms Bridge and 295.
Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com.
And a message coming from my eyes says leave it alone. Now he's centered, and they score! William Carlson gives Vegas the lead. Martin couldn't play it in, then Hannafin whiffed on the clear, and they score! Jordan Stahl takes advantage of the giveaway to tie the game at 3. Theodore snapped it wide, hard off the back wall. Chatfield didn't get it up. McNabb for Theodore. Nice move down low. They score! Tipped in by Brett Howden. The puck worked toward the slot. Gostisbehere scores! Shane Gostisbehere has tied it at 4. Or he would have gone in unimpeded. 3.5 to go. Hurdle into the dot to Sissons. Back for Hurdle. He scores! Tomas Hurdle. Then it's 5-4 Vegas.
For me as a coach, I have all the confidence in the world. No matter where the flows go, we're not going to get into a panic mode by any means. We may not come back. We may lose a game. I don't know. But we're going to do it with not losing ourselves completely, because you can get really sloppy when you start panicking. I don't think there's going to be any panic in the team, no matter what happens in this series.
What's the most impressive part of the Golden Knights? Is it the fact that this is an expansion team founded less than a decade ago, and they're in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they're about to win, their second after being in it? This is their fourth, whatever it is. It's an impressive expansion.
It's clearly that
is it the fact
fired their coach?
Is it the fact that they fired their coach and their replacement coach has them on an absolute heater in the playoffs? An absolute heater. The Golden Knights have won a franchise record 7 straight postseason games since Game 5 against the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference second round. Is that it? Or is it the fact that they went down 2-0 in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals and then battled back to win, becoming the first road team in NHL history to stage a multi-goal comeback win in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Pick your poison. Pick which one it is. I mean, an absolute heartbreaker for the Carolina Hurricanes, but an absolute instant classic capped off by Hurdle's goal top shelf to give the Golden Knights the 5-4 win.
I don't understand how you can just move on from a coach and just
be better.
Yeah, significantly better.
A coach that, he won an early 2000 Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I mean,
they won 39 games. And the Hurricanes won 53. And we're having this conversation right now.
It's not about how good you were in the regular season.
Man.
It's about, did you get hot at the right? Were you invited to the party? And then can you wreck the party?
You ready for this? It's screaming Eli Manning right now. They were not that
a
good.
Hall of Famer, but
they were not that good during the regular season. But then no soon the postseason comes around. Now all of a sudden you're an all-time great.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Shenanigans. That's what
I mean, Vegas, that was an insane game.
No, you know,
insane game.
The most impressive thing is that they're playing in Vegas. They've had this crazy run of fortune, and nobody thinks it's like rigged or anything like that. You don't hear a lot of talk about that stuff.
Yeah, because no one cares about the NHL enough. No offense to the NHL, but like I don't.
But
think,
it's Vegas. You would feel. I feel like people would complain just to complain.
If this was the Raiders, it would be huge complaints. If it was the Vegas team that we're going to be getting in the NBA in the next 4 years or whatever it is, people would be complaining. I think the NHL, there's a level of respect within NHL fandom that I don't think the NBA and NFL have.
That's fair.
Where I think the NHL fans like, the game would never be rigged. This is like
they accept it for what it is.
There's almost like a little bit of a, I don't want to say it's not hoity-toity whatsoever, but like a level of like, we play this game, we fight on the ice, and then afterwards we're going to drink beers together. And that's just the way it is.
Okay,
like a camaraderie of it.
That's fair.
Different cultures. Hockey's its own very different culture that I'm not all that tapped into.
Did you hear what the coach said, though?
In that soundbite?
Yeah. It's basically like, look, we don't care, bro. We're here to win. Nothing's deterring us from our expectations and the whole, like, we're going to fight. Like, that is very important. And it, to me, screams of a team that's really, really confident. And what do we always say about these teams that nobody expected to be where they are? The worst thing you can give them is confidence and hope. And they're probably at an all-time high right now in Vegas.
I mean, they just got all the hope. They just drew pocket aces.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, baby. We're about to
coming to Carolina and winning in that situation is tough, man.
I mean, yeah, it's a rabid fan base. Raleigh, North Carolina loves their Hurricanes. I don't know if you saw this, and this might just be me because I follow a lot of Charlotte media members from my time down in Charlotte. Raleigh loves their Hurricanes. They love the Canes a lot because it's all they got in Raleigh in terms of professional franchises. They're a little jealous of everything going on down in Charlotte between the Panthers down there, Charlotte FC down there, the Hornets. And so Raleigh really rallies behind the Canes. So you know the Lenovo Center. You saw it if you were watching the broadcast last night, waving their rally towels, the horn sounding. That's a tough environment to go into.
That horn is the best.
Vegas goes down 2-0 in the hole. Then what do? They come out in the second period. They respond. They notched a goal within the first minute of the second period, which made history. First time a goal has been scored in the opening 30 seconds of both the first and second period in any game in Stanley Cup final history. A lot of history was made last night, and Vegas was on the good side of it all. And can the Canes bounce back in game 2? They'll need to before handing Vegas what would be its 8th straight win here in the postseason, which is a franchise record, mainly because Carter Hart had 23 magnificent saves for the Golden Knights last night. All right, let's go on out to the phone lines. We've got Reggie on line 1. Good morning, Reggie. How are we doing?
Hey, gentlemen, good morning. One thing about Vegas, if you remember the draft, they took all of the good players from each team, like two here. And the first, I think, the second year, they made the Stanley Cup, which a certain team up in Washington took care of business. You know, with the greatest scorer ever. leading the way. So Ted DeAngelo did something right other than what he does for the Wizards. But I digress.
You did it to yourself, Reggie. You did it to yourself.
Yeah, don't start it. But one thing I saw in the game last night, if you look at the offense, Carolina got tightened up on defense. I mean, up and around the scoring zone, they were just wearing those boys out. And some of the hip checks they was hitting every time they went to the corner. I mean, bodies were flying, heads were snapping. I said, now this is hockey, man. I love this. I mean, there was some bodies being thrown around last night. What you guys think?
Yeah, they were. And the Canes, they got to figure out how to clear the dang puck, man. Just get it out of there. There were so many times that Vegas was able just to have multiple looks at it. Like the hurdle go-ahead goal late in it, like you can't allow such a clean little give and go that he had that just opened up the middle of the ice. I don't know what the Canes are doing defensively there.
What do you guys think about that save where at the end of the game, everybody went to my man with the stick that did the block, and we jumped up in the air, and they said, "Oh, we got to hug the goal," and we forgot about him. That was kind of crazy at the end.
Yeah, because that goalie had himself a nice little game. He had a save after they went up 5-4 that saved them. Like, apologies for the pun. I'm on a roll today with them, but he can't forget about the goalie.
Well, he's with Philly, wasn't he?
The Carter Hart?
Yeah, from was he with Philly or was he with the Canadian team?
He was with Philly. I forget how he ended up with Vegas, but yeah, he was with Philly for a while, and then he joined Vegas. I think last year or this year. Yeah, last year he joined Vegas.
I got to ask a crazy question. Now, when they played Thursday, and I predicted that Vegas would win in 7, I talked to my main man, Matt. Am I crazy to think if they go down 2-0 that they might get the broom out when they go back to Vegas?
Man, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same. They've got all the momentum. If they can take both in Raleigh and then you go back to Vegas, beware of the brooms. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's just so hard when you lose. If you're the home team, if you got home ice advantage and you lose both games at home, like you've got to feel just completely dejected.
Well, Vegas definitely had the speed. They might have the more talented players with Carolina, but Vegas had so much speed on the end. And my man Jerome again, oh man, he was just having a field day on reporting. Because what I see right now is just too much speed. And like I said, Vegas, with a hot goaltender, they mess around and snatch the victory out of the jaws of feet again. Carolina will be demoralized.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be fun to watch in game 2. Appreciate you calling in, Reggie. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
There goes Reggie. Appreciate him calling in. You too can call in on the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. Call, text in on this Wednesday morning at 9:30. We'll be joined by Chris Persianen. He covers the Knicks for Clutch Points. He's a host of the Locked On Knicks podcast as well. Excited to catch up with him, talk all things NBA Finals in just under an hour, about 50 minutes away in hour number 2. Let's get a quick break in. Step aside, news or snooze. We've got a couple of texts to read as well. That's on the other side of the break, right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect. Tune in to the Henrico Huddle with Dennis Bickmeyer the last Wednesday of each month, afternoons on 1061 ESPN, or updates online at henricosea.com. 1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet. Rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
1061 ESPN weather.
Expect clear and sunny skies throughout the day. Cooler temperatures in the morning will be warming up throughout the day with a high of 84 later this afternoon and lows tonight dropping down to 50.
This has been Ingram with the Atlanta Braves. Keep it locked here on 106.1 ESPN. Your home for the Atlanta Braves all season long.
News
Extra, extra, read all about it!
or snooze?
News or snooze this morning. We've got a mixed bag here, starting with hockey again. Stanley Cup Game 1. Canes rue poor decisions in historic Game 1 collapse.
Anytime historic is used in a headline, I feel like that's got to be newsworthy.
Extra, extra, read all about it!
Analytically speaking,
they won the game.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear Josh Hart the other day on his podcast?
What?
The Roommates podcast. It's what he does with him and Jalen Brunson. Oh,
Josh Hart is
Josh Hart's the ultimate troll.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say me and him have kindred spirits. We definitely get off.
He started just random. I forget what teed him up. I think it was a question about the Cavalier series or something. He went, well, analytically speaking, I think they're actually up 3-2 in the series because, we didn't show up to Game 5 because, we didn't need to because we won it. But analytically speaking, I think they might actually win the series.
I'm, again, not sidetracking, but the craziest thing I heard from that was Lonzo Ball thought him and Garland would have changed that series. That was crazy.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball, man, I don't know what you're going to be changing with a knee that looks like ground beef.
Yeah.
Unfortunate end of the career for Lonzo Ball because he was showing flashes, what was it, in Chicago prior to the injury, but then he missed, 3 years? And
question.
The LaMelo Ball is the best ball, brother.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you see the Buffalo Bills in the Hurricanes?
I see the Washington Capitals in the Hurricanes. But a little Bills. But here's the thing about the Bills. They made it to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. The Hurricanes, first time they made it to the Stanley Cup in a long time. Capitals were the ones that always failed prior to the Stanley Cup. The Capitals also played this Vegas Knights team and downed them. And so maybe the Hurricanes can find a little solace in that with everything that's going on. They said they forced us into mistakes. We didn't handle the pressure particularly well. Sometimes there wasn't pressure, and we made few poor decisions with the puck. They capitalized. That's what Rod Brindamore said following the loss.
That's a fair assessment.
Entering yesterday, road teams were 0-55 when down multiple goals at any point in a Stanley Cup final game 1. Carolina, as we all know, held a 2-0 lead after the first period. So first time ever a road team has overcome a multi-goal deficit in game 1.
Sorry for the ones holding the Hurricanes tickets there.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Aaron Donald on Rams return. Myles Garrett trade got me thinking.
Snoozeworthy.
I guess.
I've got a couple of takes to get. I don't think it's happening. I do not think Aaron Donald is coming back. I think he's being a little troll. I think he's having some fun with all of the attention on him, and he's kind of stoking the flames. We did get a text. If Aaron Donald comes back, who do you guys take? This current Rams defense or the 2000 Ravens defense? Also, if Aaron Donald comes back and is actually effective, does it look bad on him chasing a ring? I'm going to answer the last question first, then we can dive into that first question.
So many questions.
So, no, because I don't consider it chasing a ring. If you return to the team, I believe he would still technically be under contract for, because he retired pretty young, and I think he still had a couple of years left on his contract. Not ring chasing if you're coming out of retirement to play for your team. Now, if he came out of retirement and signed with, I don't know, the Seahawks, a team that has won a title in the last 2-3 years, a team that has that championship pedigree.
If he came to the Niners, I'd take him.
Yeah, you would, but he wouldn't be ring chasing for that one either, because we all know how that
was
was
unnecessary.
You set yourself up so way too easily
I've
for
been
that.
so nice about it, too.
I don't think it's ring chasing if he comes out and plays
It's
for
not.
the Rams.
It's not.
So, but here, that was a good part of it, is actually effective. If Aaron Donald comes back, which I don't think he will, I don't think if he comes back, he would actually be effective. I know he's still working out, but according to Aaron Donald himself, his workouts now that he's not in the league are vastly different, and by his own admission, much easier than they were when he was in the league. So, he's not game ready. He's not ready to go. It would take him multiple weeks of ramp up. And, it's Aaron Donald. I might get hit for saying this, but he hasn't gotten hit or administered a hit in the last couple of years.
I got my hand raised because the guy that got traded to Cleveland was an active young player, and he did one of those light workouts, and he literally tapped out and threw up.
Yeah.
And he asked for his wife to help him.
You're not wrong, but I'm just based on Aaron Donald's own way of grading his workout.
He's a madman. Like
NFL workout is absolutely insane. These workouts he's doing by us, our standards, insane and not even doable, but by his own admission would not get him ready for the league. So if he came back, I would still take the 2000 Ravens defense. I would take the 2000s Ravens defense. I would take the Legion of Boom era Seattle Seahawks. I would take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2001 defense. I'd take a lot of defenses over what the Rams have coming back next year, because you mentioned it yesterday. Myles Garrett's awesome. If you put Aaron Donald in there, I don't think he's that effective, but he would give you maybe a couple of good snaps a game, and he's still Aaron Donald, so you still have to respect him. But on the back end, sure, they got Trent McDuffie, but there's still a couple of other holes. I don't think they're front to back, left to right, top to bottom as good as some of those other all-time great defenses we've seen in the new millennium.
Yeah, and I just take an offense to him saying actually effective. He's Aaron Donald, and there's a football.
I don't think he'd be effective.
There has to be a level of effectiveness if he's an all-time great for a reason.
Sure, but if you put Peyton Manning, an all-time great, on the field tomorrow, he's not effective. You put Tom Brady on the field tomorrow.
That's the quarterback position. Calais Campbell is 42 and he's still effective.
Yeah, but he never took time off. He has stayed at the top of his shape for that whole run.
And his shape is still not as good as Aaron Donald's
I think
shape.
you're over.
I have PTSD. You're right.
I think you're putting way too much stock in the fact that he just still works out.
I think that helps keeping your body in some form of shape.
Sure, it helps, but
the muscle memory of going through the motions of the contact and stuff, I think is the easiest thing to return as long as you maintain a workout ethic and a routine. When guys retire, they get out of routine. That's what makes them ineffective. As long as you maintain your
also
routine,
the fact they haven't gotten hit. Like Aaron Donald has not gotten hit in what, 4
That's
years?
true.
And he has not administered a hit. His last game was 2023. So he has not played 24 season, 25 season. So he's only been out of the league for 2 years. But I mean, that takes a toll on you too. I think if Aaron Donald came back, he would not be effective. I just think sitting out for 2 years is a long time.
That's fine. And effective for me isn't like all-time great Aaron Donald. I'm looking at like 7.5, 8 sacks. I think would be really good for him if he came back.
Would
right?
it be if he came back? I'm thinking like 1 or 2 sacks.
I mean, that's
like DeMarcus Ware had that like swan song late in his career where he was like retired, coming out of retirement, in retirement, and he was wildly ineffective. And I know your rebuttal is going to be like, well, he's not Aaron Donald.
No, he was, but I don't think he was in the best shape either. And he lost a little bit of his bend,
so
that hurt him.
I just think
the Ravens defense thing, though. Can we stay here for a second and put this into perspective? Every all-time great defense we typically talk about in the NFL has all-time great ability at each level. So if we were to take this Rams defense and try to put them on the platform of a 2000 Ravens defense, who's the Ray Lewis of that defense? Where's their linebackers, right?
They don't have
Where's
that.
their safety?
They don't
right?
have that.
They don't
Exactly.
have the Ed Reed, right? They don't have the work up front either. Like
Haloti not?
No, it was Bulware, Siragusa. Suggs came in at some point, but he wasn't on the 2000 Ravens defense. But it was more Bulware and Sharper, I think. Jamie Sharper was the other guy. But like
both of those guys were Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, those guys were legitimate assets to that team and skill set based guys. But the all-time great of the Ravens defense was the brains of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. If you go to the Legion of Boom, it was Wagner and what's his Earl Thomas, like that brain trust right
Cam
there.
Chancellor,
Richard Sherman. They had Michael Bennett up front as well
with Cliff Averill and Red Bryant and Brandon Mebane.
Like, listen to the names we're putting out there and remember how they played. Yeah. We don't put the Broncos on their level, and the Broncos had a great defense that year, but they didn't have the names. They didn't have that playmaking ability on all levels. So,
100%.
Yeah.
All right. What's the last one?
The last one, I almost read that Wilt Chamberlain text. Eagles left tackle after Brown trade. Thank God it's over.
Snoozeworthy.
Snoozeworthy indeed.
Because it was taken a little bit out of context with what he said. So here's the context of it's kind of funny. I had to cut the clip a little bit because it was really long, but I think this gives you the overall context. It's the initial question into an answer into his comment about saying, thank God it's over.
Do you think his desire to play elsewhere negatively impacted the season last year?
No. I don't know where that's come from. I don't think so. I think, yes, we can move on now. I think most of us that have been here the last 6 weeks, we have moved on we have enough to worry about, of again, getting over last year and then coming in here and learning a new scheme, new concepts. Like, we had to press on. And so that's what we were doing. I think this is more of a, it sounds terrible, but like, thank God it's over. It was the slow pain of just, is he in, is he out? We didn't really know. And
yeah, exactly. So sure, thank God it's over, but like I get his point. So it's snoozeworthy. I don't think it's a whole lot of.
It's an awful headline too.
What Philly's been doing. I mean, it's a whole lot of nothing. They're blowing a lot of stuff out of proportion.
Yeah, the headline, even the alert I got said, Mailata, thank God it's over. And the first thing I thought of was, look, Mailata is a very upfront guy.
Yeah.
If he didn't like AJ Brown would know. And he wouldn't have waited till he left to say it.
And his point's a really good point too, where he's just like, we all, for the last 6 weeks, we knew something was happening. We knew he wasn't going to be with the team. It's just kind of like this weird thing hovering over us. And so when he was finally traded, it's like, all right, it's over.
Yeah.
He's gone now. Thankfully for his own sake, he's able to move on, and we're able to move on.
Yeah. And imagine these guys have shifted to the 2026 season and setting their sights on another Super Bowl run, probably immediately after the draft. And for the last 2 months, a key component, he's like 30% of their offense. Is he going to be with them or not? How are we going to look if he's not there? We don't know if he's leaving or not.
Yeah.
Like, are the rumors true? he's not really being upfront about it. The team's not being upfront about it with the players. And so, yeah, it's probably a relief to at least know which direction you're going now.
And if you had told me that this many mentions of God and or heaven would be done between the Eagles and A.J. Brown and the Patriots around OTAs on a Tuesday in June, would have called you crazy, because we got A.J. Brown saying that Foxborough is the closest to heaven he's ever felt. We've got Jordan Mailata thanking God. So it all comes together. All right, hour number 2, we've got Chris Persianen. He covers the Knicks for Clutch Points, host of the Locked On Knicks podcast as well, joining at about 9:30. Between now and then, we want to hear from you on the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. The Madden cover has been revealed. Of course, we've got to talk about that. Get our initial reactions to both covers that were revealed, and we'll be ranking the top players in the NBA Finals. The top 5 coming up in hour number 2.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
This is advertising material. Medical mistakes can devastate families. When doctors fail to provide the care you deserve, Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys stand ready to fight for justice. They recovered over $2 billion for their clients injured by negligence, surgical errors, and misdiagnoses. They take on powerful hospitals and their insurance companies, so you don't have to, but time is limited. Call now for a free consultation. No fees unless they win your case. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys, 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George is licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in on this Wednesday morning, hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill. Appreciate you clocking in, making us part of your morning right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We should pop right on up, and you can like, comment, subscribe so you never miss a show. You can be part of the show over there, or you can be part of the show on this Wednesday morning by calling or texting in to the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. And we're going to rank players in the NBA Finals, the top 5 players in the NBA Finals coming up. At 9:30, Chris Persianen, he'll be joining. He covers the Knicks for Clutch Points. He covers the Knicks on the Locked On Knicks podcast as well. He's up there in the middle of it all in the Big Apple. We'll get a vibe check on how Knicks fans are feeling and what he expects the Knicks will do to try and slow down the alien, try to slow down Victor Wembanyama. I got a text in about Victor Wembanyama, one of Wilt's grandchildren. Wilt Chamberlain. Yep. This texter has also said that Wemby is the reincarnation of Kareem Buck's era, and it said that Wemby is the modern day Wilt. So this texter really just going off
love
on
this texter.
Wemby. Yeah, I would love to see what the next one is. Over the last couple of days, we've gotten 2 different Wemby - insert something. I'm very excited to see what the next one is.
You're my vice president of the Wemby fan club. I appreciate you. I support everything you say.
I'm excited for tomorrow's after Wemby goes off for like 25 and 25
Wemby,
tonight.
yeah.
I don't know what Wemby is going to carve out his own lane and be known as Wemby. No longer will Wemby need to be saying reincarnation of Kareem, one of Wilt's grandchildren, modern day Wilt, whatever it might be. No, after this series, it's going to be Wemby - Wemby. That's what he's going to do. We'll talk about that. A little bit of a legacy talk because no conversation around an NBA Finals is complete without some legacy talk. Who has more at stake between Brunson and Wemby? We'll dive into that. But before we get into the NBA Finals, the Madden cover was just announced. The Madden 2027 cover. And it's Caleb Williams, which I found a little perplexing. It's Caleb Williams doing that leap jump throw that he hit,
signature move
that he hit Roma Dunze on in the playoffs. And then if you get like the collector's edition or whatever, that thing they sell, like the higher price point video game, it's him doing his Iceman celebration. All right. That I don't love it, but it's fine. It's fine. I wish a quarterback wasn't necessarily the guy always on the Madden covers, but I digress.
That's your generation. It wasn't always like that.
My generation put Peyton Hillis on the cover. We had fan votes, and we put Peyton Hillis.
I was going to say, I don't feel like you. How old were you then?
What was that? 2013. What Peyton Hillis cover? I was around 13-ish, 15-ish.
It was Madden 2012.
Okay, so that came out in 2011. I was 14.
Yeah, you wasn't old enough to take credit for that. That's not your fault.
My generation knows how to stuff a ballot box.
Yeah,
online.
but that's not your fault. That would definitely be my generation. 2012. We were still peak Madden tournament playing and stuff like that. It's like early days of like Madden bus.
Who's your favorite Madden cover athlete?
My favorite Madden cover athlete. Probably Michael Vick. Not being a homer. It was one of my favorite Maddens, and it was cool.
I'll be a homer. My favorite Madden cover was Sean Alexander, man.
Disgusting.
That was a good game too.
Bland.
I still play. That one had the best. Like superstar mode.
So for the folks that are confused as to why Caleb Williams, a lot of people believe in the Madden curse. Therefore, it's hard to get a quarterback or anybody to really be on the cover of Madden these days. So I'm sure he wasn't the first option. I'm sure they went down a list. He was probably like the fourth option.
Although the Madden cover curse doesn't really exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
I don't think it existed originally either. Didn't Tom Brady get hurt?
Tom Brady got hurt. Antonio Brown was on the cover in.
He went crazy though.
19. Yeah, exactly.
I think that was all.
There's an argument to be made that he wouldn't have gone crazy. Like Madden 05 was Sean Alexander. He got hurt the following year. Then Madden 06. It's also always hard to try to remember Madden 07 was Sean Alexander. It's always tough to remember because
I got it pulled up now.
Because you got to remember that like Madden 2005 came out in 2004, in August of 2004. So then you've got to remember what they did in the 2005 season. But for a while there was a stretch of like every person having some sort of injury or their career getting derailed the following year.
So it looks like the Titans are the only team that have multiple players on there because they had Eddie George in 01 and they had Vince Young.
Vince Young was the weirdest Madden cover athlete because I don't ever remember Vince Young being like great in the NFL. I remember him being great for Texas. I remember yeah, of course. But like, how was he good enough? That was probably after his second year in the league. How was he good enough to be the cover athlete?
I lied. The Patriots had Brady and Gronk.
Oh yeah, in back-to-back years too. Back-to-back years.
But nah, Tom Brady.
Steelers have had kind of too.
Tom Brady didn't get hurt
in 2018.
Yeah,
I think he broke the Madden cover curse.
Maybe.
I think he broke it after that, and then AB kind of brought it back. But then since COVID, we've not had a real Madden cover curse.
Mahomes and Brady have been on twice.
They were on the MVP edition.
Yeah. That
when they were
counts,
together.
Right?
Yeah. And then you had John Madden in 2023 after his death. And then
He's
Josh
been on
Allen.
twice, too.
Yeah, he has been on twice because he was the OG guy.
Yeah.
And then you had Josh Allen in 24, Christian McCaffrey in 25, and Christian McCaffrey went on to have a very good 2025 season. Now you've got Caleb Williams in 26. Good for them.
Yeah, it's random, but it's good PR, and obviously for the younger guys, for sure, they want to be on the cover, Matt. And then as we've learned over the last couple of years, they really care about their ratings. So,
yes.
But shout out to EA and whoever else is involved in that, where they have the guys come out and test us. That's been really good PR and publicity for the league. They come out, if they think they're not fast enough, they get to come out and run their 40. And if it's fast enough, they'll upgrade it, or they can do drills to upgrade their catch stats and things like that. So I found those things interesting. I hope they keep that up.
Yeah. Madden 2026 was Saquon. Saquon kind of had a little bit of a Madden cover.
Saquon was wild though, man. You had to put the Spider-Man on there.
I give more of the issue not on the Madden cover curse, but the Kevin Petula curse when it came to Saquon.
Yes.
Didn't know how to utilize the guy.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Maybe all of my hate has just been misguided to Jalen Hurts, and it actually is Kevin Petula. Maybe I'm in the wrong here.
No,
probably not though. Probably not. And you'll see when my quarterback rankings drop in a couple of weeks, you'll see where I have Jalen Hurts.
My son could call an offense with Saquon Barkley and be effective. Like Petula not being able to utilize him is insane. Dayball was able to utilize him, and we don't even respect Dayball anymore.
Yeah. Well, we kind of respect.
Nah, we don't. We really don't.
He'll recreate his image down in Tennessee. He'll make Cam Ward great.
Right.
Oh, all right, hater. All right, NBA Finals. They're on tap, getting started tonight. I won't say tipped off, although they are tipping off tonight. But we've got to rank the players in the NBA Finals. We've got to talk about who has more at stake in these finals, as well as Chris Persianen joining at 9:30, covers the Knicks for Clutch Points, covers the Knicks for the Locked On Knicks podcast. Before we do that, however, we're going to go on out to the phone lines. We've got Bruce on line one. Good morning, Bruce. How we doing?
Come on, Fitz. Come on, Alan. Good morning, man. Y'all know what the day is, man. Come on, man.
It's Wednesday.
That's the game up.
You're right. I should be more excited because, Bruce, we got Alan's favorite team playing tonight in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. You're right. It's a big day for us over here at ESPN Richmond.
Cease and desist coming both your way.
Why you think I'm calling, Fitz? Why you think that this is Alan's squad? He don't want nobody to know. But watch. Little man gonna be saying, Dad. He gonna be like, be quiet. I'm watching the Knicks, man. You know you can't talk while I'm watching the Knicks. Come on, man.
You're right.
Hey, look, man. Let's get it. Let's take it from the top. The Knicks, as you have probably discussed in the first hour, they're going to play physical. They're going to attempt to hit. Jordan Rules, Last Dance was on last night. Jordan Rules is going to be applicable all 7 games. They're going to hit Wemby. They're going to try to crack him. That's what Mike Brown has been preaching since they beat the Cavaliers. We have to be physical with Wemby. And so that's where they are, man. They looked at the tape from the Emirates Cup, but they feel that if we can be physical with him, we can slow him. And I'm sure Coach Johnson has had that discussion. Wemby has to remain cool. He cannot get upset. I'm sure Coach Pop has had that discussion with Wemby. We cannot get upset. I have said, guys, on Monday that we're going to see, and it may only be the 4 games that the Spurs win, but you're going to see something special from Stephon Castle. I'm sorry. Yes, Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
You're going to see something special from him in the 4 games that they win. I'm not saying every game he will play solid, but you're going to see something special in likely 4 of these games. And what do I mean by special, Fitz? Let's get into that. What I mean by special, it could be 18 to 20 points. It could be 8 to 12 rebounds. It could be 7 to 11 assists. And that's what I mean. I'm not saying, each of those games, but it's going to be something special. I think there is a highlight waiting. Can y'all imagine like a Kevin Johnson dunk over a King? That's some type of highlight that's going to be in this fold. And it could happen in Spurs land to totally swing the momentum of a game where Castle could go in and get a flush over OG. He could get a flush over Cat, and that could change the momentum of this game.
I'm looking forward to it. Castle's also going to be tasked with trying to slow down Brunson, although Castle's done a pretty darn good job of slowing down SGA, Anthony Edwards, Denny Avdia. He also had to take some time to defend Julius Randle in that Timberwolves series as well. But Castle will get the pleasure of trying to guard Brunson. So he'll need some special games defensively too. But the Spurs, man, I think they've got all of the momentum on their side. I think the Wemby problem is going to be tough for the Knicks to try to figure out, and that's going to be where the series hinges.
Guys, we don't want to sleep on Allen's squad, man. We got to keep this up.
They're going to be feisty. I mean, if they have a game, which they'll probably have a few of the games based off of what they've been doing this entire playoff, specifically over the last 11 games. If they're hitting their shots, Bruce, if they're hitting their shots, they're winning this series. If they don't become paint reliant, which they have not been essentially these entire playoffs, they're winning this series. I just think Spurs will have enough games in them where they'll be able to slow down the Knicks offense. And that's why I've got Spurs in 7.
Yeah. I think we are going to all agree. I know the hockey game last night was a great game. We're going to all agree that this is going to be a great 7-game NBA Finals. It may go down. Last year, guys, we forget, last year's Finals was a great Finals. It was a great Finals.
It was amazing. And the Pacers, that's one of the best sliding door moments in the NBA over the last couple of years, because if Tyrese Halliburton does not tear his Achilles, do the Pacers win that title? And do we consider OKC a successful, quote unquote, budding dynasty? Because if they had lost that series to the Pacers of all teams, they would not have a single championship. They would have flamed out in 7 games with home court advantage this year. They would have lost the year prior in the 2023-24 season. That title has done a lot right now for OKC being considered a successful rebuild.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting take. I really do, guys. But look, I want you both to enjoy Game 1 tonight. And Alan, tell your little man to call me if you getting mad. I don't want you getting mad watching the Knicks tonight. Just tell him to call me, and I'll talk to him.
He gonna be playing Roblox more than likely.
Bruce, you as well. Talk to you tomorrow. There goes Bruce. Appreciate Bruce calling in. Let's get a quick break in. We've got a text we've got to address. Talk about best players, legacy talk, all of that, and Chris Persianen joining at 9:30. So stay with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
It's bow time. Bojangles is shaking up breakfast with the return of its sausage Bowberry biscuit. Savory, sizzling, country-style sausage topped with a drizzle of sweet icing, served on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit stuffed with bowberries. Just when you thought you knew where breakfast was going, Bojangles flips the script. Right now, get 2 sausage Bowberry biscuits for just $5. But hurry to Bojangles, because even though breakfast is served all day, this deal is only here for a limited time. Order yours today. It's bow time.
It's your game. Play it in Richmond. The Virginia Commonwealth Games are coming to Richmond this summer. Join over 10,000 participants in the largest multi-sport festival in Virginia. Athletes of any age or ability can participate. Choose from over 30 sports, including basketball, softball, pickleball, and more. It's the Virginia Commonwealth Games. Register today online at commonwealthgames.org. That's commonwealthgames.org. Brought to you by Virginia Amateur Sports, Delta Star, and Town Bank.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Rich Eisen Show. Head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, he is Andy Reid.
Doesn't matter the days or where you play. We'll go play in the McDonald's parking lot as long as they're giving out cheeseburgers, right? We're ready to go.
That's right, of course.
That's right.
I know that. I know you're not going for the chicken sandwich.
That's right. No chicken sandwich
or
nuggets.
I understand. The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Amber and Ian.
I was surprised that there were Steelers players who were surprised, because that was the article that we have right now on ESPN.com, where apparently inside linebacker Peyton Wilson, he admitted that he was a little shocked when he showed up to the facility and ran into Aaron Rodgers.
Last year you showed up in late June, so maybe he was surprised that it was this early.
There you go.
Not
I
that
guess.
late.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Do you love football and want to be part of the game and give back to your community? Become an official in Central Virginia. We have a nationwide shortage of officials, causing some games not able to be played on Friday nights. You'll work and train with veteran officials, get great exercise on the field, and you'll earn extra income working the game you love. Active duty military and veterans could receive free uniforms and gear. Training classes start June 22nd. To register, visit cvfoa.org and click register to become an official. That's Central Virginia Football Officials Association, cvfoa.org.
Hey, Richmond, this is Joe Simpson. There's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves, and that's 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside. We got a text in as we chat NBA Finals here. Could you guys explain why the Spurs are so heavily favored in the Finals? I don't know if I would necessarily use the word heavily favored. As it stands right now, the Spurs are minus 190 to win, with the Knicks being plus 160. So what that means is you'd have to bet $190 to win $100 on the Spurs to win the NBA Finals. And for the Knicks, if you bet $160, you'd more than double your money and you'd win $160. The Spurs opened as minus 220. Now, it's always tough when you're talking NBA Finals, you're talking futures, you're talking how the markets have shifted when it comes to a team like the New York Knicks. Because, does the money like the Knicks and that's why it swung? Is it the sharps? Is it the quote-unquote professional bettors? Or is it the fact that they're the New York Knicks and they are from one of the largest metropolitan areas and they've got one of the largest fan bases who are just betting with their hearts, not their heads? So it swung a little bit. But the Spurs, they opened at minus 220. That's truly what Vegas thinks of them, which isn't all that much of a quote-unquote extreme heavy favorite. But it boils down to a couple of things. It boils down to the fact that the Knicks are still trying to overcome the fact that they came in as the third favorites to make it out of the East. So there's still a little bit of just hesitancy, despite the fact they just went on an 11-game win streak. There's still some hesitancy from the market and from the media to really have full buy-in on the Knicks. There's the whole Wemby issue of it all. The Knicks, if Mitchell Robinson didn't have the broken pinky, I think this would be a darn near pick'em type of series. But the fact Mitchell Robinson, he's questionable for tonight. We don't know how much he can do with the broken pinky that he had surgery on. That plays a huge role into it. Who's going to stop Wemby? Julian Shamdala. He's been hitting some threes. That's going to go a really long way. And, oh, by the way, the biggest of them all, San Antonio's got home court advantage, and that's just going to give anyone a little bit of an extra nudge in the market. So that's why I think the Spurs are favored in the finals. I think they've got the best player in these finals. I will say, though, I was mapping out the top players in these finals. I got the Spurs in 7, and that's because I'm trying to stay true to my Spurs love from earlier on in the season. I mean, we're here on Fitz the Bill between Alan, myself, and Bruce, right? We have been early adopters to the Spurs. I've been going back and listening to some of our clips. Man, coming into the season, we were talking about the Spurs as an NBA Finals team. In the preseason, we were talking about the Spurs being an NBA Finals team, that if they stayed healthy and their pieces came together, they're a frisky dark horse out of the West. We were saying that in the preseason. So I feel like I've got to stick to my guns there a little bit and say Spurs in 7. But as I was putting together the top players in these finals, man, the Knicks, in my view, have the second, third, and fourth best player in these NBA finals. The Spurs, I think, have the first and fifth. And then as I extrapolate it down to like the top 10, I think the Knicks have like 6 or 7 of the top 10 best players in these NBA finals. Maybe not 6 or 7, maybe 6. They've got 6 of the best top 10 in this finals.
Yeah, but the Spurs have like the eraser, right? The equalizer,
and that's the key. Like the gap between 1 and 2, and this is no slight to Jalen Brunson. I just have Wemby going down as the GOAT in a couple of years. I think when he retired, like the gap between that is the gap between 2 and 5.
And there's nobody on the Knicks team that can even come close to equating what Wemby does for the defense for the Spurs.
Yes.
And I think that's where you also have to factor in some of what you do as far as like the equation of how they match up. To the texter's question, you got to think too, man, Vegas needs to set a number where people put action on it, right? I'm not taking action on the Spurs if they're like 3-1 favorites. Yeah. That doesn't even make any sense. And then you're running the risk of a heavy loss because the Knicks are not 3-1 dogs, right? Like, so you don't want to give too much. I think the odds are fair. I think you can make a case that the Spurs are almost 2-1 better, and that the Knicks are almost 2-1 dogs. I think that to me is pretty even. They also go deeper into the nerd numbers than we do and how they come up with that. But you gotta not underestimate how advantageous it is to have a Wemby on your team.
Exactly, because by having a Wemby on your team, he erases the paint. The Knicks cannot get into the paint and have a consistent scoring output. I guess significant. So what do the Knicks have to do? Well, the Knicks have to hit their shots, and they have done that exceptionally well in these playoffs, specifically over the last 11 games. I mean, it feels like they haven't lost a game in 2 months, right? And it's because they've been shooting well. Landry Shamet only missed 1 shot in the Eastern Conference Finals. OG Anunoby, his effective field goal percentage is insanely good. You've got Karl Anthony Towns orchestrating the offense. You've got these guys getting these open jumpers. But here's the thing. When you rely on mid-range game, when you rely on jump shots, what do you rely on? You're relying on you hitting your shots in a, let's face it, volatile atmosphere. And so you might have a game where you score 120, but you also might have a game where you can't buy a bucket and you score 85. And so that plays into it. If you cannot consistently find your way into the paint, you're playing a much more volatile style of basketball. That volatile style has been on the side of the Knicks over the last 11 games. Can it continue for 4 more wins? Maybe. It might. Like, it very well could be. And they've got a lot of great players. Like, my top players in the NBA Finals. Number 1 goes Wemby. No shock there, right? Number 2, I think, is Jalen Brunson. Number 3 is Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe even OG Anunoby at number 3. But I've got OG at 4, and I've got Dylan Harper at 5. Like, the Knicks have a lot of guys that can find a rhythm and get going, but they're just going to have to play a more volatile style of basketball in order to take down San Antonio.
And the depth and versatility of the Spurs is advantageous as well. Like, we haven't talked about it enough, but they mentioned it on the broadcast when they played the Thunder. The Spurs guards like Harper, Johnson, and Castle play like bigs. They get boards. They attack the boards. They play good interior defense. Like, you can't just attack them and take advantage of their size or lack thereof. Like, they're big, able-bodied guys, and they all have good energy on the defensive side of the ball to help defense. We've seen a lot of Vassal blocks, a lot of Champagne blocks, and Castle blocks. Like one of the signature blocks was Dylan Harper in that last series. So you have to give them credit. It's the sum of all parts that equal a win. And the Spurs have so many different ways in which they can attack you and defend you, is why I think they should be rightfully favored.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that they're favored. But there's a big but here where like the Knicks have a lot of great players. Like in my top 5, I've got 3 of the top 5 as Knicks players. So like if you look at it that way, which always is a fun way to kind of look at a series, it's all right, who's got some of the best players on it? The Knicks, in my view, do, but Wemby is the ultimate eraser.
And if we call him the ultimate eraser, then Brunson is the ultimate equalizer as well on the different side of it. Because if he is the guy that can go for 35 plus on any given night, honestly. Like,
he's Mr. Clutch. He's the
absolutely.
most clutch play. So he go down 20, it ain't over. We saw that game 1 of these.
And if it's tight in the 4th, as much as I love Wemby, I would bet on Brunson.
Like you need a shot hit.
Yeah.
You're down 2. You need a shot to either win or go to OT. Who you picking? I'm picking Iguodala. I'm picking Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson is just so clutch. And like, I do think it's kind of funny that we've got Wemby in this series at 7'4", 7'5", 7'6", whatever you subscribe to. You've got like the tallest, best player in the NBA. And then you got Jalen Brunson at like my height. It's just, you can do it any way you want. You can figure out a way and you can do it any way you want because both teams have gotten here in vastly, and also both teams have gotten here in vastly different ways in that San Antonio built through the draft. They got Dylan Harper, Wemby, Castle, Vassal, like they've built through the draft. Big reason why they've changed how you do the lottery. They built through the draft. And then on the Knicks side, they built through talent acquisition, good trades, amazing trades, and some good key free agency signings, Jalen Brunson being one of them. So just kind of an interesting yin and yang on how these teams are built, how these teams have decided to get here, how they've built around their star, and it's going to make for a fascinating NBA Finals. We're going to get a break in. Step aside, Chris Persianen, he'll be joining us on the other side, covers the Knicks for Clutch Points, host of the Locked On Knicks podcast as well. He's coming up next right here on Fitz the Bill.
This is advertising material.
A drunk driver changed your life in an instant. Now what? The pain, the bills, the recovery that never feels fast enough. You didn't ask for this, but you don't have to face it alone. Alexander Shinara trial attorneys fight for drunk driving victims and get results. Call now, 877-222-6666. Or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait, alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George is licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
Ready to start a rewarding career that truly makes an impact? The Virginia Department of Juvenile Justice wants you at our job fair on June 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel on Kroger Center Boulevard in Richmond. We're conducting on-the-spot interviews for juvenile correctional specialists and school security officers. Explore exciting career opportunities in nursing, counseling, and housekeeping too. Come meet our team and learn about great benefits. The Virginia Department of Juvenile Justice is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Did you know that you can find the best radio station on your dial in HD? Well, you can. Catch us on your HD dial at 103.7 HD2. Just another place to find your home for sports in the capital city. ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back in Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside as we welcome in Chris Persianen, covers the Knicks for Clutch Points, host of the Locked On Knicks podcast as well. Good morning, Chris. How's your Wednesday?
Listen, it's anxious here in New York. I got to say, everyone is excited, but everyone's also aware the stakes are high. So I will say my Wednesday's going well so far, especially being back on with you fellas. But definitely the hairs are standing up straight on the arms here.
Here's the real question of it all. Do you think New York would have been able to handle this game at MSG? Or do you think it's good that they've got to wait until game 3?
You know, it's funny. I think I'm cursed to always thinking from the Knicks' perspective as a team. And I thought, how great that they get to go on the road first, because I think the vibe of, hey, it's tied 1-1 and now you have to go to the Garden is different than, hey, it's tied 1-1 and now we go down to San Antonio or whatever it is. I thought it worked out nicely for the Knicks that they get to start out on the road. For the city itself, you know, I'll give you like a sham answer. I'll say, of course, New York City is ready or could handle it. It's less about what it is going on and more about the fact that it's New York City. New York City is just a lot of people, and you know, it's not some zoo. It's just a lot of young, culturally interested people in the same place at the same time. And I think moments like these really just highlight why it's so great, as opposed to prove it. And the fact that I was online and I saw a Knicks fan, like a programmer, a coder, you know, a computer guy, make a website that compiles and maps out all the watch parties in New York City for the Knicks tonight. And it says, you know, different creators, different sponsors, he has it all sorted. So I don't know any other city that's making websites day of game to break down which bars to go to and who's going to be where. I think more than ready to handle it.
Yeah, especially for a city where I imagine every bar will be a Knicks watch party. And there's a lot of bars to choose from between every single borough and probably across the river as well over there in Jersey. But Chris, with the game on hand here for tonight, we were talking before you came on. I ranked the top players in these NBA finals, and 3 of the top 5 I've got as New York Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, all dogs, right? But the Spurs got Wemby, and Wemby is a tough question to answer, right? How do you see the Knicks trying to slow down and answer the Victor Wembanyama problem?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you could argue the Knicks have 3 of the top 4 players in this series, with the Anunoby's two-way prowess kind of amounting to more than De'Aaron Fox on the aggregate, if you want to look at it that way. But, you know, to me, it's going to be about that strength in numbers, you know? So kind of stay right on theme there. Whether it's 3 of the best 4 or 3 of the best 7 guys, however you want to spin it, right? The Knicks are going to need all of their guys to slow Victor Wembanyama down. I mean, since he was drafted, there's no defender that's done better than him, or better on him by the numbers than OG Anunoby. So I think it was Caitlin Cooper pointed this out on Twitter. She covers the Pacers. Since Wemby was drafted, no defender has been better than OG Anunoby, but OG will be the first to tell you. Mike Brown will be the first. They'll, you know, fall over themselves trying to say it's going to be a team effort. It's not going to be one guy that can slow down someone of that stature. You've seen some discussion both from Jeremy Sohan and OG Anunoby this week about the kind of importance of bumping Wemby and just making him feel you all game long. That's going to be it. You know, I know it's kind of hard to do comparisons given his size, but actually I think the way the Knicks guarded CJ McCollum in round 1 is as close to a blueprint as you're going to get, right? It wasn't when they had a hounding defender like Deuce McBride on McCollum that they were able to slow him down. They really needed someone like Josh Hart who is just willing to go and make CJ feel him, make every shot difficult, take pride in that matchup, not strategically, but personally, taking pride in contesting every shot, making everything difficult. OG is going to be probably the anchor in that regard when it comes to stopping Wemby, but they're going to need the size of Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. They're going to need the off-ball help of guys like Bridges and Hart. And they might even need their third-string center, Ariel Hukporti, to chip in at some points as well. I doubt he sees any second-half playing time in the NBA Finals of all stages, but don't be surprised if in the first half there's 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in the first quarter, and you see Ariel Hukporti at the scorer's table because Karl Anthony Towns got in early foul trouble, and then Mitchell Robinson tweaked something with the hand, and all of a sudden you're on center number 3.
Yeah, that might be DEFCON 5 for New York. It's Chris Persianen joining us here. Covers the Knicks for Clutch Points, host of the Locked On Knicks podcast. You mentioned Mitchell Robinson there, Chris. He underwent pinky surgery after he broke his pinky. No one really sure how he broke his pinky, but listed officially as questionable for tonight's game. How important is he for New York if they want to win the NBA Finals?
Yeah, Robinson's size is just so key given the matchup here. I mean, it really didn't matter who they played, to be honest, because the Thunder do have someone the Knicks know well in Isaiah Hartenstein. They know the threats he can present. And while he's certainly not a dynamic player off the dribble, he certainly is one with the ball in his hands, just his ability to see the floor literally and schematically, his ability to defend the rim, to rebound the ball. It's definitely, the Knicks were going to need Mitch no matter what here. There was not a matchup that put a Draymond or Colin Murray Boyles sized center into the equation. Now, that said, Robinson, I want to say he's very important to what the Knicks do, but I also don't want to oversell it. Like, they have beaten the Spurs without him. He has been probably, excluding Jordan Clarkson, who worked his way back into the rotation late in the season. If you look at the Knicks' top 5 starters and then Shamet, McBride, Robinson, so their top 8 guys, Robinson has probably been the least impactful of those 8 this postseason. If you had to pick an appendage of a Nick, you'd probably pick, the left pinky of Mitchell Robinson. So the fact that it's his right pinky, maybe one of the top 10 best appendages that could have been broken at this stage in the Knicks season right now. But again, there's nothing good about broken appendages at this stage in the season. And Wembanyama, his extra size objectively necessitates a series from Robinson in which the Knicks can trust him for at least 12 to 14 minutes a game. So the indications are all that he will push to play tonight in game 1, that he will likely be available, but we don't exactly know yet. It is a pain tolerance thing, and whether he can go or not, it's not going to be about, can he hit free throws? We know the answer is no. Can he dribble? We know the answer is we don't care. He's not going to either way, whether he can or cannot. It's about, when he's out there, I think the biggest value he has for the Knicks is the opposing team feels the need to put several bodies on him to limit his impact on the offensive glass. If the Spurs find themselves putting several bodies on a non-shooter, the Knicks have won in theory right there, because they'll be able to generate open shots on the perimeter where they excel. So this is a long-winded way of saying, just because he is the whipped cream of their sundae, you could definitely still have the 3 flavors of ice cream, the cherry, the wet walnuts and syrup, everything going on, but you don't have the full sundae without the whipped cream. He's going to be important, not the most key part, still a sundae. Just they need him, especially with Wemby's size.
Now, I did not think we'd be hearing a Sunday Sunday analogy on this Wednesday morning, and I think that fits it perfectly. Mitchell Robinson is the whipped cream, not the straw that stirs the drink, rather the whipped cream that makes the Sunday everything you expect it to be. Who's the wet walnuts then? Who's the X factor in this series?
Ooh, I gotta say Mikal Bridges, man. I think everyone else at this point is a given. I think Jalen Brunson's elite offense is a given. He's probably, like we discussed, one of the 5 best players in the NBA with Cade, Anthony Edwards, some of these guys, ready but not there yet. Brunson's the one here in the finals. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's going to need to score, play make, defend. OG Anunoby is going to need to hit threes, be a release valve for the offense, guard 1 through 5 on the other end of the court. Like, all these things are given at this point. The Knicks don't get here without all of those contributions. And it's definitely, I think, fair to say that they will not stay here. They will not remain here if they don't keep getting those contributions. But Mikal Bridges, that's a guy who you can look at and say, what's he been shooting so far this postseason? 70% from the floor? Maybe that won't hold up, but he is going to be an X factor in the sense that, this is going to be a sandwich of the postseason for him. And what I mean by that is the middle 2 rounds, Philadelphia and Cleveland, I think his scoring was so important. When those teams tried to force the ball out of the hands of the Knicks' best players, they were able to do so. The problem is they were funneling the ball into the hands of NBA Finals experienced two-way wings. And so Mikal Bridges, someone who was glad to take advantage, struggled at first in the Atlanta series offensively. First 3 games, he got benched several times for Landry Shamet. It happened in the regular season too. But once Game 5 happened, Game 6, I think it was, that he kicked into gear against the Hawks. Then it's been a tale of 2 playoffs for him. And since then, he's been making every shot, switching every time perfectly, stealing just simple passes. He steals them because he not only knows they're coming, but he positions himself to succeed. I think he's an X factor against these San Antonio Spurs because when you think about the Spurs and the threats they present offensively, I know Wemby is number 1, 2, and 3, but they're guards. They call themselves, what is it, the Slash Brothers? Those 3 guys, Fox, Castle, and Harper, are all everything that people say is wrong about Jalen Brunson. Like everything that national analysts wish that Jalen Brunson had, all 3 of their guards have. So they're 6'4" or taller. They're quick. They're muscular. They have pull-up shots. They have long range. Like they can finish at the rim. It's just Brunson is the best player of the 4 of them. But it's funny because the national media spends all day talking about how he should be more like them. It's interesting and ironic here that the Knicks are pretty well equipped to handle their driving. When you look at OG Anunoby, when you look at Mitchell Robinson, when you look at the physicality even of Karl-Anthony Towns in this postseason, but none of that's possible without the suffocating defense of Mikal Bridges. You go back, CJ McCollum, he had his series. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the NBA's most improved player, was never a factor in the Hawks-Knicks series in the first round. That's because Mikal Bridges took him out of the equation. Then you go to Philadelphia, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. These guys were having 20-point first quarters and finishing the game with 22. Mikal Bridges, instrumental there as well. And then you go to the next round. I know it's hard in all these sweeps. You're thinking Tyler Kolek and Pacome Dadier and then Jerome James are the guys scoring out there for the Knicks. It doesn't really matter who, right, when they're up by 30, 40 every game when you look up. But Mikal Bridges, his defense on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, integral to their Eastern Conference Finals victory. So whether it was going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or De'Aaron Fox, whether it was going to be A.J. Mitchell or Dylan Harper, the Knicks were going to face amazing, creative guards in the NBA Finals, and they were always going to need the lanky, Gumby, Mr. Slenderman defender who haunts these guys into their dreams and nightmares. It doesn't matter that they gave up 5 first-round picks. They'd give up a 6th right now because they're in the NBA Finals. That's what it's all about for them. And Bridges, Hart, Brunson. These guys have winning experience. I think they played together before this a time or two, and that went pretty well. So they're looking to replicate that here. You understand why Leon Rose felt the need to get the band back together.
Man, New York feeling so good. They're okay with quoting Philly rappers with some dreams and nightmares being dropped in there when describing Mikal Bridges. Last question here, Chris, before we let you go.
He's from Philly, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Full circle, man. You got me there. Last question here before we let you go. We got to get your pick if you're comfortable with us sharing it. Who you got and how many games?
Yeah, I'm going to be wrong. So let me let you know right now. I've been wrong every single round so far. I had the Knicks in 5 over the Hawks. I had the Knicks in 6 over the 76ers. And I thought I was being so smart by picking the Knicks in 5 over the Cavaliers, being like, they've got a real advantage here that people are sleeping on. That was wrong too. So this time I'll be wrong a 4th time in a row. I'm going to go Knicks in 5 here. I do think ultimately their experience, their pain and hunger will bleed through. Chris Bosh talked about this on social media yesterday. This kind of reminds him of the 2011 Mavericks where, LeBron and the Heat, they're coming and they're going to be great. But Dirk and the Mavs have been through that pain. And, it's funny. We talked last time about Jalen Brunson and his pantheon in Knicks history, but it is very close to being on the pantheon of Mavericks history, and it's kind of funny to think about Dirk Nowitzki, a guy who probably should not have had the skill set that he had, given the size that he had, winning maybe the most beloved NBA championship of his decade. I'm going to say Jalen Brunson does the same thing here. This is not only going to be a Knicks championship, it's going to be NBA fans' most beloved championship of this decade, because not only did New York end a 53-year drought, but they got that last little drop of water before Wembanyama took the hose for himself and kept it for the next decade.
I love it. Chris, appreciate your time on this Wednesday morning. Enjoy the finals. Enjoy it when it comes back to MSG. Appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds like a plan. I'll be there at the Garden. We'll see. I might get there 4 hours early with all the security and some of the special guests that are planning on attending. I know to be there early so I don't get stuck waiting outside during tip-off. But if I do, I'll call in. I'll have a live report. So thank you guys. It's always a pleasure.
And tell Timothy Chalamet if you see him, I said hello. But appreciate your time. There goes Chris Persianen, covers the Knicks for Clutch Points and the host of Locked On Knicks. Really fantastic stuff from him there. Let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. We'll be back to wrap up this Wednesday edition of Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Golf season is here. Whether it's your first round of the year or the next round, make sure you're playing it at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're offering special pricing this summer on outings for civic organizations, churches, kids' athletic teams, or your own special fundraiser. Also, now is the time to start signing up for your fall golf outings. For more information or to book a tee time, give us a call at 804-749-1900 or visit online at huntinghawkgolf.com.
It's bow time. Bojangles is shaking up breakfast with the return of its sausage Bowberry biscuit. Savory, sizzling, country-style sausage topped with a drizzle of sweet icing, served on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit stuffed with bowberries. Just when you thought you knew where breakfast was going, Bojangles flips the script. Right now, get 2 sausage Bowberry biscuits for just $5. But hurry to Bojangles, because even though breakfast is served all day, this deal is only here for a limited time. Order yours today. It's bow time.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
This is Joe Simpson with the Atlanta Braves, and when I'm on my road trip to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
Oh, another free one. Thanks, dog. You always hook me up.
Another hour of the fun stuff on deck.
Another one of your nonsensical rambling stories.
And another round for everyone on me. I don't want to hear another peep. Okay, all right, here's another one.
Another thing before we get up on out of here on this Wednesday morning, we've got to talk about who's got more at stake in the NBA Finals, legacy-wise, of course, because both of these teams, they've got their star, both vastly different, right? Jalen Brunson is a small guard. Victor Wembanyama is a 7'6", do-it-all type of player. Jalen Brunson has a lot at stake because he could go down, and maybe this is just New York specific, but he could go down as almost the savior of New York, bringing them back a championship after, 5+ decades of them coming oh so close, but never being able to get it done. He's already reached a level that makes him the most impactful Knick of the 2000s, but he could probably get into that next level, that next tier, if he's able to win this. And he would prove something that I think could impact the NBA for years and years and years to come. Alan, if Jalen Brunson wins this, he would prove that you can win big with a small guard. And that's at Becky Hammond. That's an attack towards Becky Hammond because she said, what was it, earlier this season that the Knicks will never win a lot because they've got a 6'1" guard. They've got a small guard. And so he's proving her wrong and proving that you can win big with a small guard.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago. She was like, you can't win a championship with a small guard. And to be honest, I'll be completely transparent here. When somebody says something like that and you have one example out of like 100, that doesn't make you right. But I know we're going to run with it and say, see, we told you.
1,000%. and at the core of what she is saying, she is not wrong. Because what is Jalen Brunson? Sure, he's a small guard, but he is he is a shot maker, a playmaker, a shot creator. Defensively, he's a bit of a liability, but like offensively, he's not from this planet.
Yeah, he's one of one.
He's special. Honestly. Like Wemby is one of one in his own way. Yeah. So that's for Jalen Brunson. Like, let's be honest. When you're 7'6", 7'4", whatever he is, you don't typically have the handles that Wemby has. You don't have the ability to drain it from three like Wemby does.
The game's easy.
When you're 6'1", you don't typically be able to create shots the way Jalen Brunson does.
There was a time in Game 7 Wemby went to shoot a 3, and I think it was Wallace that tried to like jump and contest it.
Like, I can't.
And I said to myself, I was like, bro, what's the point of even jumping? Like at the release point.
What, he's 7'4", his 11 feet off the ground, 12 feet off the ground.
At the release point, even with you jumping, you're not really contesting anything. So it's a luxury to be that tall. And it's an advantage. It's basketball. If you got height, you got a natural advantage.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take away from his skill because, again, there's been plenty of guys
100%.
His height that can't play worth a lick.
And he's been able, a key part of it that hasn't been talked about a lot, he's been able to stay healthy this year. That was a big question mark for him coming into the league. That was a question mark around him the first 2 seasons. I mean, last year it was an unfortunate thing that ended his year with the blood clots, but like that is something that they had to worry about. And he's been able to stay healthy up to this point. Fingers crossed it can continue. And the case for Wemby with his legacy, with what's at stake for him, one, it would show that he is vastly ahead of schedule, and he would join a very select handful of all-time greats that are this ahead of schedule, that have won a championship this early on in their career. By my research, he would join guys like Bill Russell, who won in year 1 while averaging 19.6 rebounds per game. That's insane. That's freaking insane. Magic Johnson won with the Lakers in 1980. Larry Bird won his first title with the Celtics in 1981, his second season. Dwayne Wade carried the Miami Heat to a championship in his 3rd season. That's a nice little group that you joined. Those are all future Hall of Famers. and Wemby would be joining that group as well. So I think that has a ton at stake for his legacy.
Absolutely, man. This same when we talk about Luka and his rare air of what it was like 5 consecutive first team All NBAs or something like that. Like when you're in a list or on a list with all-time greats, guys that we all recognize.
I thought you were throwing a shot at Luka.
No. That's one thing I'll never knock on Luka was his consistency in playing at a top level individually. It takes a lot to propel a team to a championship, but as an individual, his play was always elite. I'm not going to take that from him. Same with Wemby, man. If you're getting a team into the finals in your third year, you're playing with house money.
Yeah, this whole team's playing with house money. Their 3 best players, or 2 of their 3 best players, are guys that weren't even in the league in 2023.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink in for a second. Dylan Harper's a rookie playing like a vet. Wemby's year 3 guy playing like a year 15 guy.
Reminded me, we need an investigation, bro. How you have Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper and you don't do nothing in college? That's crazy.
I didn't want to bring it up.
That's crazy.
I didn't want to bring it up, but the Rutgers coach is absolutely abysmal.
I mean, I remember it.
Does he still have a job, by the way? How do you have? You don't even include Ace Bailey in that, right? Dylan Harper's in a dang NBA Finals and has been a key cog in the offense for San Antonio.
Guard play is everything in college.
Rutgers didn't make the NCAA tournament.
Crazy, bro.
Whew. Oh man. It's homecoming for Dylan Harper a little bit. He could, when he goes to MSG, if he wants to go over and hang out at Rutgers, he could just take the path on over and get down there to East Brunswick. In a couple of hours.
You know what? Too, I just thought about it when we were talking to Chris, or you were talking to Chris. I get why Bruce has this fixation with the Knicks, because everything that's good in New York is from Philly. So it's got to be insulting that they take your Philadelphia people and they can win with them, but you guys can't win with them down in Philly. If they'd have stayed home, they'd be losers.
Yeah, he's out here. Chris was out here quoting Meek Mill, bringing that up too, and saying we can't because Mikkel's from Philly, and Julian Champagny Shamdala on the other side of it all. He was waived by Philly, and now he's a key starting guy for it all. That's a slap in the face. That's an absolute slap in the face for the Philadelphia 76ers, for Daryl Morey, for everyone involved. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. All right. That'll do it for this Wednesday edition of Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We've got some Atlanta Braves action here tonight as they play host to the Blue Jays, 7:15 p.m. First pitch on that one. Between now and then, we are where Richmond talks sports. We're back live and local at 4 p.m. with the Mid-Major Matt Show. 4 to 6 between now and 4. We have the best sports talk in RVA. We'll be back tomorrow. David Teal joining us to help break down everything that's been happening over there in Blacksburg with Virginia Tech. They've launched a new LLC to help them be competitive in the world of college football. Plus, they've fired some people. They're looking for some new other people. So David Teal will be joining us tomorrow. Keep it locked right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.